The Canaanite Woman and the Lost Sheep of Israel, an allegory of spiritual and material integration. The story of the Canaanite woman in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 15, verses 21 through 28, stands as a profound allegory that transcends its immediate context, offering deep insights into the interplay between spiritual and material worlds, the lost tribes of Israel, and the inclusive nature of Jesus' mission. This narrative reveals the transformative power of faith and underscores the universal scope of God's divine plan. This chapter explores the historical context, theological implications, and practical applications of this story, illustrating its relevance to contemporary spiritual journeys. Historical context and the lost tribes of Israel. Background of the Assyrian exile. To fully appreciate the significance of Jesus' interaction with the Canaanite woman, we must first understand the historical context of the lost tribes of Israel. In the 8th century BCE, the Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom of Israel, resulting in the exile of the 10 tribes. These tribes were scattered and assimilated into various cultures, losing their distinct identity over time. This dispersion led to their being known as the lost tribes of Israel. Development of Judaism in the southern kingdom. The southern kingdom of Judah, consisting of the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, survived the Assyrian onslaught and later experienced the Babylonian exile. Upon their return, they developed what we now recognize as Judaism. The term Jew originated from the tribe of Judah and gradually encompassed all members of the southern kingdom. Over time, the concept of the lost tribes developed, with various legends and theories about their fate, some traditions holding that these tribes would one day be regathered, fulfilling prophecies of Israel's restoration. The Canaanite woman, symbol of the material world. The encounter. The Canaanite woman, hailing from the region of Tyre and Sidon, represents more than just a desperate mother seeking help for her daughter. In a deeper allegorical sense, she embodies the material world, often viewed as impure or secondary to spiritual pursuits. Her plea to Jesus, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly," reflects the material world's cry for redemption and healing. Initially, Jesus' response seems harsh and exclusive. "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." Matthew 15:26. This statement can be seen as a reflection of the prevailing Jewish sentiment towards individuals outside the prevailing religious beliefs at the time, and a test of the woman's faith. Her persistent reply, "Yes, it is, Lord. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table," reveals a profound faith that transcends ethnic and cultural boundaries. Allegorical interpretation. In this encounter, the material world's needs and impurities are laid bare. The woman's persistence symbolizes the unyielding nature of physical desires and the ever-present need for healing and redemption. Jesus' eventual response, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted," signifies the transformative power of faith and the potential for material and spiritual integration. The allegory of physical needs and spiritual growth. The story of the Canaanite woman reaches deeper into the allegory of our rejection of the material world's needs. In many spiritual traditions, the material world is often associated with physical desires, impurities, and indulgence in the senses. These elements are seen as obstacles to spiritual growth, leading to a dichotomy between the spiritual and material realms. Integration of material and spiritual needs. This narrative challenges us to reconsider this dichotomy. By initially rejecting the woman's plea, Jesus mirrors our own tendency to prioritize spiritual purity over material concerns. Yet, her unwavering faith and Jesus' ultimate compassion illustrate the necessity of integrating these aspects of existence. The healing of the woman's daughter symbolizes the potential for redemption and purification of the material world through faith. Practical applications. This allegory extends to our own lives. The physical needs, desires, and perceived impurities we harbor can often become barriers to spiritual growth. Yet, through faith and divine compassion, we can transcend these barriers, finding a harmonious balance between the spiritual and material realms. The lost sheep of Israel, a broader interpretation. Jesus' mission to the lost sheep of Israel can be viewed in light of this broader understanding. The lost tribes, now dispersed and integrated among Gentile populations, represent those who are both physically and spiritually distant from the covenant. By reaching out to the Gentiles, Jesus and his apostles sought to reclaim these lost tribes, bringing them back into the fold of God's covenant community. Paul's ministry to the Gentiles further supports this interpretation. In Romans chapter 11, verses 17 to 24, Paul uses the metaphor of an olive tree to describe the inclusion of Gentiles into God's covenant. The Gentiles, as wild branches, are grafted into the olive tree, symbolizing the reunification of the dispersed tribes with the covenant community. This theological perspective aligns with Old Testament prophecies about the regathering of Israel. Ezekiel chapter 34, verses 11 to 16, portrays God as a shepherd seeking his scattered sheep, a theme that resonates with Jesus' mission. These prophecies suggest that the ultimate fulfillment of God's plan involves the integration of the lost tribes, now intermingled with Gentile populations, into a unified spiritual Israel. Universal redemption, all mankind in God's divine plan. The story of the Canaanite woman emphasizes the universal scope of Jesus' mission. While his initial focus was on the lost sheep of Israel, this narrative demonstrates that faith and redemption are accessible to all, regardless of ethnic or cultural background. Jesus' interaction with the Canaanite woman underscores that all mankind is included in God's divine plan. This broader interpretation is reinforced by the Great Commission, where Jesus instructs his disciples to make disciples of all nations, as mentioned in Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 to 20. This directive highlights the inclusive nature of Jesus' message and mission, extending the promise of salvation to all humanity. Contemporary relevance. In practical terms, this perspective calls us to embrace our physical needs and desires, not as obstacles to spiritual growth, but as integral parts of our holistic existence. It encourages us to seek healing and redemption in all aspects of our lives, guided by the light of faith and divine compassion. By recognizing the material world as an essential part of our spiritual journey, we can find balance and harmony. This involves acknowledging our physical desires and needs, integrating them into our spiritual practices, and seeking holistic healing. This approach not only enriches our personal spiritual growth, but also fosters a more inclusive and compassionate worldview. In conclusion, the epic journey of faith and integration. The story of the Canaanite woman is an epic and illuminating narrative that transcends its immediate context. It offers a profound allegory of the integration of the material and spiritual worlds, the reclamation of the lost tribes of Israel, and the transformative power of faith. By delving into this story, we uncover layers of meaning that resonate with our own spiritual journeys. As we reflect on this narrative, we are reminded of the importance of embracing both our spiritual aspirations and material needs. We are called to seek holistic healing, guided by unwavering faith and divine compassion. In this journey, we find that the material world, far from being an obstacle, is an essential part of our spiritual growth and transformation. Through the lens of the Canaanite woman's story, we gain a deeper understanding of the inclusive and transformative nature of Jesus' mission. It is a mission that calls us to transcend our past, let go of our sins, and embrace a path of healing and redemption. It is a journey that unites the lost tribes of Israel with the covenant community, creating a unified spiritual Israel that encompasses all who seek God with faith and humility. In this epic narrative, we find a powerful reminder of the profound connection between the spiritual and material realms. It is a story that illuminates the path to holistic healing and spiritual integration, offering hope and inspiration for our own journeys of faith. Through faith, we can overcome our past, find redemption, and realize that all mankind is included in God's divine plan.